Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the English Learning Podcast, where we help you improve your English skills with simple and effective conversations. I'm your host, Ethan, and with me today is my wonderful co-host, Emma.
Hi, Ethan. Hi, everyone. It's great to be here. Today, we have a very important and useful topic: how to speak confidently anywhere.
That's right. Speaking English with confidence is a challenge for many learners. Have you ever felt nervous before speaking? Have you ever worried about making mistakes? Well, today we're going to help you overcome those fears and become a more confident speaker.
We'll share why people struggle with confidence, the mindset shift you need, and practical techniques to speak without fear. No matter where you are, at work, in public, or with friends, you can become a confident English speaker.
And don't worry, this is going to be fun and easy to follow. So grab a cup of coffee, relax, and let's dive into today's episode. Speak confidently anywhere. Let's get started. Alright, Emma, let's start with a question. Why do so many people struggle with speaking English confidently?
That's a great question, Ethan. There are many reasons, but the biggest ones are fear of making mistakes, fear of judgment, lack of vocabulary, and nervousness.
Yes, and I think fear of making mistakes is a big one. Many learners hesitate to speak because they worry about saying something wrong.
Absolutely. But here's the truth. Making mistakes is a natural part of learning. Even native speakers make mistakes.
That's so true. And what about fear of judgment?
Oh, that's another major issue. Many learners think, what if people laugh at my English? Or what if they don't understand me? This fear stops them from speaking at all.
Yeah, but the funny thing is, most people don't judge you. In fact, they appreciate that you're trying to speak their language.
Exactly. And another problem is lack of vocabulary. When you don't know enough words, you might feel stuck in a conversation.
I totally understand that. But the good news is, you don't need a big vocabulary to speak confidently. Even with simple words, you can communicate well.
Yes, and let's not forget nervousness. Many learners feel shy, especially in new situations.
That's very common. I remember a friend who learned English but was too nervous to speak in front of people. One day, she decided to practice a little every day. After a few months, she became much more confident.
Wow, that's inspiring. Confidence comes with practice. And today we'll show you exactly how to build it.
Yes, and that starts with changing your mindset, because confidence begins from within. Let's talk about that next.
Now that we understand why people struggle with confidence, let's talk about the solution. Confidence isn't just about speaking well. It starts in your mind.
Many learners believe that they need to be perfect to be confident, but that's not true at all. Confidence comes from accepting mistakes and focusing on progress, not perfection.
That's a great point. Think about children learning to talk. They make mistakes all the time. But do they stop? No. They keep trying, and that's how they learn.
Exactly. So, the first mindset shift is, see mistakes as learning opportunities, not failures. Every time you make a mistake, you are improving.
Yes. And another powerful mindset shift is positive self-talk. Many people say to themselves, my English is bad, or I can't speak well. But what if you change that to I'm improving every day, or I can do this?
That's so important. Your thoughts affect your confidence. If you tell yourself you can't do something, you'll feel nervous. But if you tell yourself, I'm learning and I can communicate, you will feel more confident.
I love that. And here's a quick confidence-building trick for our listeners. Every morning, stand in front of a mirror and say one positive sentence about your English. For example, I am a good English speaker, or I am improving every day.
That's a fantastic habit. And one more thing, don't compare yourself to others. Everyone learns at their own pace. The only person you should compare yourself to is the person you were yesterday.
Yes, confidence is a journey, not a destination. Now that we've talked about mindset, let's get into some practical tips to speak confidently.
Yes, these are simple but powerful techniques that you can start using today. Emma, what's the first tip?
The first tip is, practice speaking every day, even if you're alone. You don't need a partner to practice English. Just talk to yourself about your day, describe things around you, or even read out loud.
That's a great tip. Speaking out loud trains your brain and your mouth to work together. And if you feel shy, you can start by recording yourself and listening to your own voice.
Yes. And here's the second tip. Use simple sentences. Many learners feel nervous because they try to speak in complex sentences. But confidence comes from being clear, not complicated.
That's so true. Even native speakers use simple sentences in daily conversations. Instead of saying, I would like to acquire some information regarding, just say, can you tell me about?
Exactly. Keep it natural and easy. Now the third tip is focus on fluency, not grammar.
Oh, I love this one. Many learners stop speaking to think about grammar rules, but that only makes them more nervous. The key is to keep talking, even if you make small mistakes.
Right. Think about it this way. Speaking is about communication, not perfection. If someone understands you, then your English is working.
That's a great way to see it. And the fourth tip is, use body language and expressions. Confidence isn't just about words. It's also about how you say them.
Yes. Smile, make eye contact, and use hand gestures while speaking. It makes you look more confident. And guess what? When you look confident, you feel confident.
That's so true. And our final tip is, slow down and breathe. When people are nervous, they speak too fast and make more mistakes.
Yes. Taking a deep breath before speaking helps you sound more confident. Plus, when you speak slowly, people can understand you better.
Absolutely. So let's review these 5 tips. 1. Practice speaking every day. 2. Use simple sentences. 3. Focus on fluency, not grammar. 4. Use body language and expressions. 5. Slow down and breathe.
Great summary, Ethan. Now let's talk about how to stay confident in real-life situations.
Yes, let's get into it. Confidence levels change depending on where we are and who we're talking to.
That's true. You might feel confident talking to a friend, but feel nervous speaking to a stranger or in a professional setting. But don't worry, we're going to share strategies for different situations.
Let's start with talking to strangers in public. For example, ordering food in a restaurant or asking for directions. What should learners do?
Great question. First, keep your sentences short and clear. Instead of thinking about long, complex sentences, just say what you need directly. For example, instead of could you kindly provide me with directions to the train station? Just say, where is the train station?
That's a great tip. Also, Don't be afraid to ask people to repeat themselves if you don't understand. Just say, "Could you say that again?" Or, "Can you speak a little slower, please?"
Yes, most people are happy to help, so there's no need to feel embarrassed.
Alright, what about speaking confidently in a group conversation?
Good one. Many learners feel nervous in a group because they think they won't be able to keep up. My tip is, listen first, then add your thoughts. You don't have to talk all the time. Just say a short sentence like, "That's interesting," or "I agree with that," to be part of the conversation.
And if you want to say more, try repeating part of what someone else said before adding your opinion. For example, "I agree with you. Learning English is easier when you practice daily."
That's such a great trick. It helps you sound natural in conversations.
Alright, now let's move to a more formal situation, job interviews or speaking in meetings.
Ooh, this is a big one. The key here is preparation. If you're going to a job interview, practice answering common questions in English. Write down key points and practice saying them out loud.
And another tip is to speak slowly and clearly. Many people rush because they're nervous, but speaking slowly makes you sound more confident.
That's true. And don't forget posture and eye contact. Even if you feel nervous, standing or sitting up straight makes you look and feel more confident.
Great tips, Emma. So whether you're talking to strangers, speaking in a group, or having a formal conversation, remember these strategies. 1. Use simple and direct sentences. 2. Ask for repetition if needed. 3. Listen first, then speak in group conversations. 4. Prepare for formal situations in advance. 5. Speak slowly and use body language.
Perfect summary, Ethan. Now let's talk about overcoming nervousness before speaking.
Great idea. Let's get into it. One of the biggest things that stops people from speaking confidently is the fear of judgment. They worry, "What if I make a mistake?" Or, "What if people laugh at me?"
Yes, this fear is completely normal. But here's the truth. Most people don't care about your mistakes. They are focused on what you're saying, not how perfect your grammar is.
Exactly. Think about it. When someone speaks your native language with a few mistakes, do you judge them?
No, you're just happy to understand them. It's the same with English. People appreciate your effort more than your accuracy.
That's such a great point. Another way to overcome this fear is to reframe mistakes as progress. Every mistake means you are learning.
Yes, mistakes are proof that you are improving. So don't fear them, welcome them.
And here's another tip. Surround yourself with supportive people. If you practice with friends or join an English-speaking group, you'll feel more comfortable and realize that no one is judging you.
I love that. And one more thing. Stop being your own biggest critic. Many learners judge themselves too harshly. Instead of thinking, "I sound bad," change it to, "I'm improving every time I speak."
That's powerful. So, to summarize, most people don't care about your mistakes. Mistakes are part of learning. Practice with supportive people. Be kind to yourself and focus on progress.
Absolutely. Once you stop worrying about judgment, you'll feel so much more confident.
Now let's move on to something that really helps: daily habits to build long-term speaking confidence.
Great idea. Let's go.
Confidence doesn't come in one day. It grows when you practice every day.
That's right. And the good news is, you don't need a lot of time. Even 10 to 15 minutes a day can make a big difference.
Exactly. So let's share some simple but powerful daily exercises. Emma, what's the first one?
The first one is, talk to yourself in English. It might sound funny, but it really works. Every morning or evening, describe your day out loud. For example, today I woke up early. I had breakfast. I went to work.
I love that. It helps you get comfortable forming sentences without pressure. And here's another one, shadowing.
Oh, shadowing is a great technique. Can you explain it?
Of course. Shadowing means listening to a native speaker and repeating what they say immediately. You can do this with podcasts, audiobooks, or YouTube videos.
That's such a great way to improve pronunciation and fluency. Another daily habit is reading out loud. Take any book, article, or even a social media post, and read it out loud to practice your speaking skills.
Reading out loud trains your mouth to say English words naturally. And one more habit, record yourself speaking.
That's a powerful one. When you record yourself, you can listen back and hear your progress. You might think you sound bad at first, but over time you'll notice big improvements.
Absolutely. So let's summarize these daily speaking habits. 1. Talk to yourself in English. 2. Practice shadowing with native speakers. 3. Read out loud every day. 4. Record yourself and listen to your progress.
If you do these for just a few minutes each day, your speaking confidence will grow faster than you think.
That's right. Now let's talk about how to keep improving your speaking skills over time.
Yes, let's go.
We've covered so much today, from understanding confidence struggles to mindset shifts, practical tips, daily habits, and ways to overcome fear.
Yes. And now I want to remind all our listeners of something very important. Confidence is not about being perfect. It's about trying, learning, and improving every day.
Exactly. Every great English speaker started as a beginner. The difference between them and those who never improve is practice and persistence.
So don't wait for the perfect moment to start speaking English. The perfect moment is now. Take one tip from today's episode and apply it immediately.
Choose one daily habit from today's episode and start practicing it. Speak English today, even if it's just for 1 minute.
Leave a comment or message us about your biggest confidence challenge. We'd love to help.
Remember, every time you speak, you're getting stronger. So keep going, keep learning, and soon, you'll be speaking confidently anywhere.
That's the spirit. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you in the next episode of the English Learning Podcast.
Bye for now, and happy speaking.